Chief Diald out of Madison has kept a robust working group, East Idaho Fire Chiefs Association, and they're actually meeting today. I'm going to miss that, but maintaining participation in that. He's going to retire sooner than later, so I'm worried about that and how that could change the partnerships in East Idaho. But as long as we need to stay diligent in maintaining, though, that's part of the answer. Communication, there are certain things, especially in the current atmosphere, that we can or can't say. So I think helping each other out on that standpoint, telling the story, whether it's a fuels project or if we have a large fire on the landscape, there might be some opportunities there to help each other out. I think, one-on-one we can be transparent, but there's certain things that our hands are tied right now, and things are having to go up the chain quite a ways to get approval to do certain things. So just kind of generally speaking, throwing that out there. One of the alligators, and usually one of the pinch points, one of them is usually either communication, somebody forgets to pick up the phone. That can have a negative ripple effect. And the second one is finances when it comes to fires and who pays for what. And those agreements have some language in them, and I think we try to go, make sure everybody understands what we can or can't do from a financial standpoint, and there's opportunities, because these fires are going to break a bank real quick, and we're going to do everything we can to do what's right. But whatever we can do from a partnership standpoint, like coming back to an ICP location or something, if we can, those are always hard to find, but that's a contribution. And whether it's a fairground or whatever, there's a business side of that, and right now we're a little limited on our fire business folks that can help work out any cost share kind of stuff on that side of things. So I see that is always a constant potential alligator in the room. And again, I think it's, the line officers are the ones that are working with the fire commissioners and working through that side of stuff. And I'm a advisor in that conversation, but it's just communication again. And we can work through those things, I'm confident.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, I just appreciate everybody's work. We hope it's like fire insurance, you never have to file a claim, but we have to have it. So,
Yeah.
question in the back.
Oh, yes.
Ryan Curtis, North Bannock Fire District Fire Chief. I'd just like to speak to, you talked about the alligators, and out here in the North Bannock Fire District, we've got some issues with the problematic potential of a wind-driven fire to the east. And up in those foothills on the east side, where our district butts up against Forest Service and BLM land, if you look at the parcel viewer, you can tell I spend a lot of time on the parcel viewer because I'm like, anyway, there's a lot of fuels there. And I remember I work up in Idaho Falls full time, but we had that Henry's Creek fire blow. I mean, it was bad, and it burned a lot of acres into no man's land. So it wasn't county, it wasn't city, it was just, and I know that I can, if we have a fire up on that east bench, and I'm talking north of Northgate up in our district, we can get on the phone, we call it East Idaho Dispatch, and we can request a full run card from the Forest Service, the BLM, and they'll show up with resources and help us fight that. Well, they have an interest because that's their district, that's their fire responsibility too. So we have set aside $30,000 in our budget for a fire drop, and me and the fire commissioners we're looking at this, and we're like, I don't know what the cost is right now for a full retardant drop.
30,000.
30 grand, okay. Well,
All you got.
you get one shot and then it comes right out. So, and I know I've been talking with Chief O'Donnell from the BLM, and he's, typically they're very good about if it's a neighboring, if those properties adjoin, let it up to each other, they'll take care of us. And I, so it keeps me up some nights thinking, man, if we have something break out up there, or or anywhere in the district really, the limited resources, and the federals, they have more robust resources than the small fire districts in the area. And so I think what it really boils down to is the public outreach on this, and have these folks that live up Pocatello Creek Road and up Buckskin Road have a defensible space around their house. And it really comes back to, you know, public outreach, and so we're working through that. But anyway, hats off to the BLM and the Forest Service for providing those resources. I know that, again, I can get on East Idaho Dispatch on the phone and say, hey, I need a full run card up here, and I'm gonna get some type 2 heavies, I'm gonna get some lights, I can get a bird in the air if needs be, and that's important coming from a small fire district, so thank you.
Thank you.
Maybe piggyback on that, and that was well stated. So those agreements I was talking about allows the counties, little fire departments to use us for free for 24 hours. There is one exception to that, and it's the aircraft. We can't do that. And as long as we can pass the red face test and say it's a threat to any of our interests, then we're going to pay for it. So that's one of the ways. When I said we're going to do what's right and work through that, we're going to do that. But there's, and I don't know Bannock as well as all of you in the room, but if there's large chunks of unprotected lands, that's where it gets real difficult. And Henry's Creek was an ugly fire, and there was a lot of tension. And there's some things that the state of Idaho is looking at and to try to help out on those unprotected lands, but that's a big alligator if you have unprotected lands and you've got wildfires, because our bean counters are going to step in at some point and tell us, you know, draw a line in the sand. Yeah.
Okay, anything else, Commissioner?
All I know is that Charlotte fire brought realization to everybody, and everybody did step up, and if it hadn't have, that would have been so much worse. So I literally thank everybody in this room, from county, law enforcement, everything, but that's the only way we're gonna survive if we ever get one of them ugly fires that maybe once in a generation.
And it's conversations just like this from North Bannock, communicating ahead of time and thinking about this before we have it. Who orders those resources make sense, and you know, these guys that are running these fires are well informed on that and think of that ahead of time, so.
Thank you.
Right. And if we can help out with the public awareness, let us know. Wes works with our PIO very well to get information out, and that's, again, public safety is a very big thing, and if we can help get out the word to do what we need to create those safe spaces, just let us know and we'll participate in that. Okay.
Thank you.
What's the best way we can get our phone numbers to you?
I don't know.
Probably through.
Do you have cards?
Yeah, if you just leave your cards with us, we can have our,
We can have Christie get
our
Perfect.
information
information
out to you. So leave it with us and we'll go from there.
Perfect. Thank you.
So with that,